right, you guys, I'm Cornelio Austin. I'm very excited to be here. I have LaSean Reyes, the hustler of all hustlers. I'm an entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneur. So this conversation is going to be on fire. Are you ready to manifest? By design. This is a life by design. We are designed by Christ. And we want to just know, have you welcomed God into your business? This is what this conversation is about. As an entrepreneur, a lot of times we go off just straight hustle and straight energy, and a lot of people don't bring God into their business. But we'll talk about that. But let's get started. Let's talk about your journey as an entrepreneur, or just tell us a little bit about yourself, like what we need to know as far as entrepreneurs, your personal life, all that you have going on.
Okay, let me say this. I am also the proud wife of Minister Andre Reyes. Let me say that first.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am the co owner of Taco Bar in Los Angeles and Tasties Temptations in Santa Monica on the beach, by the way. And I'm the co owner of Rose Gold 24 KT Health and Beauty.
Wonderful. Y'all heard that, right? Three businesses, right? And entrepreneur lifestyle is not for the faint of heart. I know a lot of you guys probably see the meme that goes around Instagram where it says, I quit my 9 to 5 and I started working for myself. Now I work all day and night. So it's a real task. So let's talk about your interest. Like, how did you become interested in the entrepreneur lifestyle?
Well, you know what? As a child, I always like hustled. I don't know. I just always wanted money. I always wanted to buy
Yeah.
Barbie dolls. I had this fascination with Barbie dolls. I have a big collection. And
Wow.
so my whole thing was I'm going to buy this, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to make money off of this, and I'm going to go buy Barbies on Sunday after church. So that was my whole thing when I was like 5, 6 years old. Then I would get in trouble at school for selling pencils, for selling gum, for selling whatever it was, whatever they wanted. I was going to buy it and I was going to sell it.
That's right.
And that was all I wanted, you know? So
Everybody had that one person at school, the one or two person they could depend on for a snack or some candy and
I
stuff.
had it.
There you
I
go.
was the one-stop shop. You needed paper? I got you. You needed Scantrons? I got you. I always sold something. There was a time that when I met Andre, he told me, you don't have to do that anymore. But it's just in me. I don't know. I've always been like that.
So I would like to make a point, and this is like, since we're talking about this within the By Design conference, I'd like to say that these gifts and talents that we have, like being an entrepreneur is a gift and a talent. So if you are out there and you're inspired and you feel that same type of energy, this is God calling us to this specific lifestyle, because the entrepreneur lifestyle is not easy, right? But it is a blessing to be an entrepreneur. So let's talk about just some inspiration. So let's talk about the taco bar. Like, where did that start out?
So when Andre and I first started dating, our very first date, he came over to my house. And I guess I looked like I couldn't cook. So he decided he was going to make tacos. And I
Uh-oh.
was like, okay, these were pretty good. You know what I mean? I didn't let him know, anything other than it was good, it was delicious. And then later on, once we started dating, I started cooking. And I noticed that Andre wasn't saying, let's go out to eat. He
Mm.
would always, and if we did go, he would always say, oh, you can cook this. You make this better than this. Well, I knew I could cook, you know what I mean? But I was trying to really impress him. So one day, I think my son was maybe one or maybe almost one. And we went to this restaurant called Charlie Blues. That was the name of it. And it was pronounced just like that. But it was in the Baldwin Mall. And I remember sitting there and I was like, Andre, I want this. I want something like this. And as a kid, I remember my stepdad, he owns Roscoe's. I remember I coming into the restaurant and the way it looked and just how it ran and how much money, how much profit he was getting. I was like, yeah, one day I'm gonna get me a restaurant. So now I shared this with Andre. This was something I hadn't shared with him. And I was like, I want a restaurant.
Nice.
And time went on and we kind of just overlooked it, but it was always was in my mind. I always knew I was going to have a restaurant for some reason. Even when Roscoe's would close up afterwards, I would walk around and act like I was the boss and all that, so.
So with your stepfather being owner of the Roscoe's business franchise, and then you starting several businesses, how does that legacy of entrepreneurship trickle down in your family?
Well, I actually used to be a boutique owner, and I gave it to my daughter, my oldest daughter,
Yeah.
and her name is Jade, Fly Jade, by the way. But
Yes.
Jade, I remember when my daughters, I have Jade and Kai and Brittany and Andrea, but Jade is the oldest, and I remember when she was little, she she was about 2 years old, and I would notice that she would always feel material like this. She would always just feel, and and she would rub like jeans, and then when we would go to the store, she wanted magazines like Vogue and Teen Vogue, and she always looked at clothes. And then one day I had company and she said, Mommy, I want to do a fashion show. And I said, okay. And she did a whole line of, with my younger daughter, they did a full fashion show with paper bags. I
Wow.
mean, she had those clothes laid. I couldn't believe it. She had colored them in. She had them just looking so nice. And I was like, wow. So I started watching them. And then I always kind of told them, I always had them selling candy and selling stuff. That was one thing about me. You're going to
Of
sell
course.
something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't always depend on me. You got to learn how to take care of yourself. So I always taught them about hustling and so when you get candy for Halloween, you turn around and you go back to school and you sell it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's how I did them. Don't always depend on me to give you everything. Your necessities, I will, but all your extra stuff, we don't have it like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? I my younger daughter, she, mm, I thought she was going to go into the medical profession. I thought she was
Right.
going to be a doctor. I really did.
Wow.
But I started noticing as she got older. She one day she asked me, she said, "Mommy, I want to go to FITM." I said, "What?" I
Mm.
said, "Everything." I said, "FITM is too expensive." I said, "I can teach you everything you need to know. I can teach you everything."
Right.
And she was like, "Okay." She said, Mommy?" I said, "I know."
Yeah.
I said, "I know how to be a buyer. I know how to get those clothes. I know how to get it all." So I would take them with me. When I started B-Fly, I would take them with me and we would go down and we'd go to all the different places and all that. And I would, taught them how to do all that.
Sure.
So then I said, we're going to take this and flip this and we're going to do this and do that. And then I pushed that so much into them as far as like hustling and making money. Now they're successful. They're very successful. But the most important thing now is their salvation.
Come on.
And they have all the cars and all the jewelry, but I look at them now and I want them to look at me and say, my mother is saved and I want to be like her.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And so all the money and all that stuff doesn't mean anything because I've had it.
Right.
I really have had it. And my husband, with him being a minister, I never thought I was going to be married to a minister, but that's most important now because I showed them that. Now this is what I want to show them, how to stay saved.
Yes.
And they made an A in the hustling part.
Right.
So now I got to work on my salvation and I'm working on their salvation, just all my children, my grandchildren, the generational wealth, it's there.
Sure.
It's really there.
Sure.
They know how to do that. But staying saved, that's the most important thing because when all that goes away, your
Yeah.
salvation is more important than anything. And you can't buy that.
Gotta have it as a foundation for sure. Because
Yes.
how you gonna handle the ups and downs?
Yes,
You
and
know.
I brought them to church. We started here in 1994, and I brought them with me. I used to sing in the choir and all that.
Yes.
But when children get a little older, well, they're grown now, but
Yeah.
they start doing their own thing. But I noticed my daughter, she sends her daughter with me,
Of course.
and then I threaten her too. Like you can't do this, you can't do that. Like Andre did me.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, my salvation and their salvation is very important to me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's another key takeaway is that you have a great support unit, right? You
Yes.
know, with your husband, your stepfather, you get to see entrepreneurs at work. And I want to just ask a question about that. Like, who was your main inspiration other than, like, let's say money as the objective to get things? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs see that, you start your hustle because you want to kind of get things that's outside of the 9 to 5. The hustle
Hmm.
does bring faster money here and there. So, like, what exactly was the motivation, like the bigger picture, as you got older, to kind of step into these places? Just, heart's desire, what solidified it?
One, my grandmother and my husband.
Yeah.
They were big on going after your dreams. And my husband has always been my number one fan. He's always supported me no matter what great idea I would have. He was always with it. If you could, he always believed in me. And that was very important, and it just, it just, he just kept saying, you could do it. Even when I would like pray and ask God to guide me. And when I would get tired or I'd cry at night, my husband had my back, and that was very important. When I'd call my grandmother and ask her, what do you think? And she was like, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Nobody saw that. That was the background.
Yeah.
But and then my cousin is very good with finances and stuff like that and books, but she's not into like the cooking part. The cooking part is mainly me, but
Yeah.
she's the best partner anyone could ask for.
Sure.
You know what I mean? She follows directions very well, but she's the best.
Sure. And that's one of the things that most people don't have is partnership. And so we want to talk about the meat and potatoes of a business,
Okay.
and how you guys started it, like your funding, your infrastructure, your employees. Like, how many people does it take to run your business? How did you guys start? And the people watching probably don't even know that you have Taco Bar. Of course, we know because
Hmm.
we will pop up and come through. So, kind of give us those, your logistics and stuff like that. Tell them where it is and kind of how you guys got this location, and how it's working out for you right now.
Okay, so my cousin, she used to rent from a lady on Pico. That's kind of like where we're from, the kind of west side. I'm actually from Inglewood, but
Yeah.
I was raised on the west side. But my cousin, she had a furniture store, and this lady was her landlord. And so my cousin decided to close the furniture store and move down the street, and she got a shoe store. And so one day she called me. She said, "Hey, there's a business down the street that's available." And I was like, "Why are you calling me and telling me that? I got beef fly. I'm doing beef fly. I'm not really, I'm content. I'm happy." And she was like, "Nah, Sean, you can get that restaurant. You can
Mm.
get that restaurant you want." And I was like, "Ah." And so I ran it past my husband, and he came with me to go look at it. No, I went by myself at first, and then I brought my husband, and we checked it out. And I saw the bigger picture, and I was like, "Shishing, it's getting ready to be in effect."
Yeah.
So I went home and I prayed, and I asked God. I said, "I need you to guide me through this." You know what I mean? I don't. I'm gonna have to quit my job. I'm gonna have to do all. I'm gonna have to really step out on faith. I'm
For
talking
sure.
about stepping out on faith,
All the way.
all money in.
Yeah.
So I prayed to God, and I kept saying, "Send me a sign. Send me a sign." I wanted something miraculous, like something to fall out the sky. And I was at work, and I fell in the safe.
What?
I fell in the safe, and I messed my Achilles up, and I had already had surgery on my Achilles.
Wow.
And I was so loyal because I was working for my dad, and I was so loyal to him and Roscoe's that I couldn't find myself leaving. I was thinking about doing the restaurant and still working for him because I was just so loyal to his business.
Sure.
And so I remember I was asking God, I was like, "Send me a sign." And I fell in the hole in the safe, and it was like,
Wow.
I can't work.
Wow.
So then I was like, you know what? That's the sign.
Sure.
I got to get up out of here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so he was a little angry with me because I was leaving him,
Of course.
but I got to eat and my family got to eat. I'm making you millions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you love me, you want to see me branch off and do my own thing. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And he kept saying, "You sure this is what you want?" And I was like, "Yes, this is what I want."
Hmm.
And so God sent me that sign, and I never looked back. Ooh.
That's
I
wonderful.
never looked back. So now let me get to how it went down. So I was saving my money, saving my money, saving my money, and I had all this money. And so my cousin and I, we started the plan. And so I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna name a taco bar. We're gonna do this. I started getting the menu ready. I was jumping. I was putting the cart before the horse.
I see. Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I forgot about we have to go and do a build out. So the
Okay.
place is only 275 square feet. So
Ooh.
we purchased. So we not purchased. So we rented the place in June 2016,
Yeah.
and we had to go through building and safety. We had to go through Department of Water and Power. We had to go through the city for every little thing. Oh, that's not right. Tear that down. Well, this person said it was right. We went through contractors. Somebody got us for our money. I went over there and found that man, knocked on his door. I made that man write me a check. I gave my cousin the check, made her go cash the check, make sure the money was there, and then I left the man's house because you're not gonna just run off with my money.
Nah.
And they run off with your money.
Yeah.
It was an architect. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But so then we went through a few architects. I thought maybe they were trying to take advantage of us because my husband was at work, and
Ladies.
it was just you know what I mean?
That's what they do.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So they were giving us the runaround. So it took us for that little place. It took us from June 2016. We didn't open until March 2019.
Y'all hear that? Gotta
And the
stay
rent
dedicated.
was due every month.
Every month.
The rent was due every month. I was thinking, boy, was I listening to God or what was going on? But every time I went to my account, the money was in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Don't
So,
second guess it, people. Things will happen. Go
yes, yes. So God was providing a way, along with my husband. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
He had my back. He supported me. He let me do whatever I wanted with my money. And I mean, it was dwindling down. It was just getting ate up really fast.
Sure.
And so then all of a sudden, it came time for the opening day after all those years of me saying, oh, I'm going to have a restaurant. I'm going to have a restaurant. People were looking at me like, yeah, sure, Shawnee.
Yeah.
And so when I finally opened, I started getting like butterflies and stuff. When I say all the funds were depleted,
Oh yeah.
and we didn't get any loans or anything like that. And so we opened up the restaurant 2019 in March. I mean, it was like successful. We were on Pico, people were coming,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the gas company decided to work in front of my business.
Oh my God.
And they were there from May 2019 until November 2019. So all the customers we had to kind of like run down to the corner. We had to run across the street to serve them. They would call the food in. It was terrible.
Right.
I mean, the devil, I was like, well, did I hear God saying it was cool? You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Made
I
it
watched
through.
businesses fold,
A bunch of them closed on that block. for
and we
sure.
didn't. We made it through.
Yeah.
We
see?
made it through. So I was like, God, thank you. He did his thing. He showed out, and it was almost like a David and Goliath story. There were businesses that have been in business for years and didn't make it.
Right.
And little old taco bar was still standing. We made it through. Praise God. But
Amen.
it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
You were saying with your business that you did not get a loan for this business, and I think that's very, very important. It's about saving.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can mention like your dedication to saving your money, I think that's a very key point for entrepreneurs.
Yes, that little bitty place cost us $103,000
To build out the whole
to build out with the permits and everything. And they make a mistake, you still got to pay. You know what I mean? And the contractors and people running off with your money, and then you have the plans, everything, and you have to buy in. I didn't want used stuff. I wanted brand new stuff.
Of
You know what I mean?
course.
Then your insurance, and then your rent every month. They want their money every month, and I'm not getting any money in.
Right.
So we did it all, no loans, and no PPP.
Wow.
No, nothing. Nobody. And then I don't say I didn't. I tried to apply,
Oh, yeah.
but I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
God was just letting me know He wants me to tell the story.
So, and I'm glad you went straight into the story like that, because that's what people really need to hear is, first of all, the prayer, acknowledging God and saying, God, I need you to give me a sign. And a lot of times those signs do come with pain, right?
Yes, it did.
and then continual lessons along the way. I think a lot of entrepreneurs can really kind of like really teach a whole course based off one business, like what you're saying. All these things that happen is the cart before the, the horse. We are trying to get to making that money, but the plan, getting to building and safety and planning, of course, and I'm going through the same type of thing. So I understand what you're saying is
Hmm.
you got to do things the right way. So are you dedicated enough to really see your idea? Are you dedicated to your dream, right? And
Absolutely.
so we should talk about where we are today and how you got to from Taco Bar to this next location,
Tasties
Tasties on the beach,
on the
which
beach, on the sand.
which you can tell us about that, how you just opened it like a month ago, right?
Yes, yes.
So let's talk about that.
So what happened is one day we were at work, and I was working. Let me say this too: the after the gas company, December came and COVID came.
That's another one. Yeah.
When I say COVID took us, I couldn't believe it. We went from doing just, making money because we started getting our little customers back. And then all of a sudden COVID hit. And I was like, what is this?
Right.
You know what I mean? People are scared. And I'm reading on all the stuff. And then the health department is saying, you got to have this. You got to stay 6 feet apart. You can't do this and you can't do that. And I'm like, well, there goes our business. You know what I
Sure.
mean? But we had those little apps and everything, and they started bringing in everything, and everything was good. But
Postmates and
yes, yes,
other delivery services.
Grubhub,
Yeah.
and one of them, and they want like 33% of
I
your
know.
money,
I know.
and then they want you to hike your price. Like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? I just felt like it was so wrong. But
A learning curve for sure. A lot of businesses and restaurants, of course, they saw a downturn, but then an uptick because people got to eat.
this is the key thing. They might ask for 33%,
Yeah,
but you can always negotiate in anything. You
for
can
sure.
always negotiate your price.
That's it.
You know what I mean? All they can say is yes or no.
Sure.
But
Staying firm.
exactly. And I
Mhm.
want to negotiate.
Yeah.
I want the best for my buck.
That's right.
So
So let's say now, obviously, stepping out into another venture, Taco Bar must be doing well at this point.
it's doing pretty good. But okay, so here's Tasties. This is how we came to Tasties. I was at work one day, and this guy came in, and he was like, "Oh my God, your food is so good. I really want to open up another taco bar." I looked at him and I said, "No, thank you." He said,
Right.
"No, no, no. I want to be your partner." And I said, "No, thank you." I said, "We're
Right.
not looking for a partner." And we weren't. We were
Right.
content on Pico.
Sure.
So maybe about a month later, this other guy came in and he said, my partner came in and he brought me some of your food. And he said, "I'd like to talk to you about, I have a place, a location, and maybe you might want it." And I said, "Sir, right now we have our hands full. We're just kind of getting it back off the ground. And I'm not really interested right now." And he said, "Okay." So then he sent his partner back. They were tag teaming.
Oh yeah.
So he came back in. And I said, "I'm getting ready to go to the Bahamas. When I come back from the Bahamas, I'll speak with you then." I said, "Well, right now, because I have to pray before I do anything." You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
That's
That
right.
could be the devil coming up in there. You know what I mean? So Andre and I went to the Bahamas. And while I was in the Bahamas, I had gotten sick. And so I was off work until like around December.
Hmm.
And so the guy kept coming in, and my partner, she was like, "I can't do nothing. You got to talk to Sean." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. So she kept telling me, "Hey, these guys keep coming in." So
Wow.
finally, one guy stopped coming in, and just the main guy started coming in.
Wow.
So 2022, the guy came in again, and I said, "Look, I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii." I said, "After I come back from Hawaii, I'll talk with you. I'll speak with you. I'll call you." So he said, "Listen, the other guy's not in the picture anymore. I have something." He said, "I want you to come by and come check this place out." He said, "It's been empty for years." He said, "But your food is so good, I want you to have it." And I
Mm.
was like, "Oh, okay." So when we came back from Hawaii, I was at work again, and he called and he said, "Can I meet up with you?"
Mm.
So I said, "You know what? Oh yeah, let me go back." So back in like December, January, this lady walked up to me and she said, "I see big things for you by the water," and
Mm.
walked off.
Wow.
And I was like, and I told my cousin, and I wasn't even thinking about it. So we go to the meeting. We meet in Marina Del Rey. We meet on a Monday. We were talking to the guy, and he said, "I really want to show you this place. I want to give it to you."
Mm.
I was like, okay. So we go ahead and we swoop on and follow him on down there, and we pull up, and I'm like, okay. As we're pulling up and pulling into the entrance, and I'm like, is this it? So my heart started fluttering. I was like, Lord, oh my God, I know you're not getting ready to bless me like this. I said, look, I know this is not real. I can't believe it. I wanted to start shouting. So I started getting, just thinking about it right now, I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
So then I was looking, so me and my cousin and I, we looked at each other, and I walked in, I looked at it, and the guy said, "It's yours if you want it." I looked at my cousin. I said, "They got 2 black sisters on the beach." I said, "We getting ready to serve them.
Yeah.
Dinner is getting ready to be on this beach." They were about to bring the tacos. So then I said, you know what? I started going crazy. We about to have soul food Sundays. We about to do this. We about to do that. So then I was like, Lord, thank you. Ooh. I said, thank you. We financially, we were just kind of getting back, caught up. But we wasn't ready for that. And you know how God works. I don't need you to need no money.
Ooh,
you know
come
what I mean?
on.
I need to show you what I can do. And that's what he did. Because it was like the money was like depleted
Yeah.
after, we're trying to recover. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. After
And sometimes
pandemic.
you can't pay yourself. You know how it is.
I know it.
This is when you're really serious about your business. I'm
That's
talking
right.
about you
Scaling.
sleep, eat, everything. Yeah, I mean, everybody's affected by what you got going on. They have to believe in your dream.
Sure.
And so I went and I told Andre, and Andre came. He just so happened to be working in the area. And so Andre came in, and he was like, he looked at me and he said, "God is blessing you."
That's it.
He said, "You got a gift and you got to share it." And I was like, "Andre, but I don't have any money." It's like, he said, "What you mean you don't have no money? You got God." He said, "And you got me."
That's right.
I said, and my cousin, she's a trust fund baby, so she's not worried. But me, I'm a hustler. I get my money. I have to get out there and get it. And so Andre said, "You got God and you got me." He said, "What else you need?" He said, "You want a winning team." And I was like, here we go. I said, all right. So then I started thinking, okay, the name is go. First I was like, oh, B-side Bistro. Then I was like, oh no. Then I was laying up one night and I said, Tasties. It's going to be called Tasties.
Right there.
And so there we have it. And it's located at 14800 Pacific Coast Highway. Ooh. On the beach.
Come on. Do you guys see this? Do you guys, I don't know if you guys even feel the Spirit of God in this conversation, but I do. All of this, I didn't even have to ask the question of when do you invite God in. For our viewers, it's like when you are already, when God is in your life, whether it's going to be easy or hard, you can hear in this story how God is in every thread, just by design, an entrepreneur, a hustler by design. And when it's your season, and that's the other part, is timing is everything, right?
Yes.
What
yes, it is.
what if you didn't pray? What if you didn't say, God, give me this sign? And who knows what's next?
Yeah.
And
I got a seasoning that's coming out that's gonna be next.
Yeah, and that was my segue. I was gonna say, what is the future? What do you see now happening now that you can trust God and trust Andre and your family, friends? We all support and come get us some tacos. What do you see now? How do you scale the business?
Well, the business is going to be successful because I got God behind me.
That's
You know what I
it.
mean? And my husband and my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And with that team, I know that it just takes time with food, though. It's not like
for sure.
clothing.
Yeah.
Clothing is a little easier. The turnover is fast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can buy something, say for instance, a pack of clothes for $36, and off of that $36, you can make $300. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's much easier with that, but food is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to. Let me say this: The number one thing in any business is to maximize the profit.
That's it.
That's the most important thing. The number two thing with food or clothing or whatever you're doing is to be consistent and to have quality. You know, it doesn't make sense for you to go to, say, for instance, this Jack in the Box over here tastes better than this Jack in the Box. They should all taste the same. You know what I mean? Even if you're flipping houses, whatever you do, put your best foot forward and try to do the very best. Be meticulous about how you want your tile, how you want things. You know what I mean? If they're not doing it right, tear it out and fix it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you got to stay on the people, and you have to be there.
Sure.
So that's very important. But right now, I'm happy with Taco Bar. I'm very happy with Tasties, but that's not my money maker.
Okay.
My money maker is going to be the seasoning that I have. It's called the mix, and that's the retirement plan right there.
Boom. That's the Walmart, Target,
Going
grocery
big,
stores.
going big. Erewhon,
That's it.
Walmart, not
Let's
Walmart. What's that? Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm going.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
You guys see that?
I'm
Like,
hitting them big.
you, as an entrepreneur, you got to always have a vision that's going to keep scaling. Very important. Don't just stay in one particular aspect of the business world. As you can hear, she has experience in various different businesses, and of course with your stepfather with Roscoe's, and then clothing. We know about the clothing as well. So what about marketing? I think that's another big thing.
So that's my weakness, marketing.
Okay.
I'm not really now. That's my cousin and I. You know, we're over 50, so we're not really good on the computer and all that. I mean, I can text and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not making pages. I have made a website, but it's not the best.
Sure.
So that's where we got to do a little bit more promoting, because that's the new thing, the new era. Everybody's on Instagram and social media, and I'm not big on that. I don't like to get on the phone and get on Facebook, but that's what the people want.
Sure.
You know, but the people that spend their money are the people my age. So I've just been blessed that my stuff, our stuff, has done well just through word of mouth.
Sure.
I had my husband doing the social media. It was doing okay. I thought it was a little corny, you know what I mean? But I love him because he tried.
Yeah.
But I'm going to eventually have to hire someone to do that.
That's
it is
good.
what it is, you know?
For sure. And I think this story, spreading your message again, inspiring other potential entrepreneurs, is also a way of marketing too, you know, for those who didn't know what you had going on, you know. And I think it'll come because I know your daughters and they do well with social media and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to take off. I think even just barely having somebody come, not you or anybody else, just have somebody come tape y'all in a day, like something simple. But we could talk about that later. That's what we do. Entrepreneurs help each other.
Absolutely.
You know, and it wouldn't be hard to get a post. That's what most people do with food trucks. They just post online. We're gonna be here. New location at the beach. Come join us at the beach. Get your feet in the sand with a taco.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
But anything else that you'd like to tell our aspiring entrepreneurs at the By Design Conference? It's time to manifest is key.
Yes, it is. And never give up. I don't care what happens. Never give up. Put God first. Pray about it. Sometimes you're going to cry, but just get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going for your dreams. If it doesn't work, just start something else, but never give up.
Never give up. It's time to manifest. Timing is everything, you guys. So this has been a powerful conversation so far. I've been blessed. The Spirit of God is in the room. You wouldn't think that talking business and entrepreneur and hustling that God would be in the room, right? But that's what people need to know. And so just a couple takeaways just for people when they know it's time to manifest. I think once they see this, they know that it's time to manifest. So what do you have to say as a key takeaway for our entrepreneurs watching?
Trust in the Lord. That's what I have to say. but this song keeps popping in my head that the elder sings. If you ask me how I made it, you know how the song goes, right?
Yes.
He did it.